Hey YouTube, and welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be talking about Italian, and I'm going to be giving you guys my tips on learning Italian easier. Okay, a lot of these things I really wish I knew when I was studying Italian, because maybe it would have saved me so much time and confusion. The first tip that I have is to know your shortcuts. What do I mean? Like, for example, okay, we all know the basics that words that end in A are feminine and words that end in O are masculine. But what happens when they're not? You know, there's a lot of shortcuts on things like the genre of the articles. Like, for example, fruits are more times than not feminine, and for example, words that end in ione are feminine, and like words that come from Greek like problema are masculine even though they end with an A. Like little things like this to help you just identify things quickly. I didn't know about that trick, and I was just memorizing words with their articles, and you don't need to do that with Italian. You do need to do that for German. And so another tip that I would have is to learn your own language. Learning Italian became a lot easier when I started teaching English. There's a lot of things in English that exist also in there's a lot of things you learn in Italian that also exist in English that you didn't even know existed. Learning how Italian is different from your language and how Italian is similar to your language will help you a lot when you are learning to speak the language. For example, in Italian you have like imperfetto and passato prossimo, and that's usually a really hard concept for non-Italian speakers to learn, especially Anglo-Saxon ones, because we don't have the same. But you'll see that imperfetto in Italian has a lot of similarities with past continuous, and passato prossimo has a lot of similarities with past simple, and so when you learn them in English, you can take all the similarities and all the differences and know when to use which. Another example would be like congiuntivo condizionale. Congiuntivo condizionale is a really hard thing for even Italians to master, and like I finally learned how to use condizionale with congiuntivo when I taught my first lesson on English conditional. So I would say, especially if you're an English speaker, because I know that in native English speaking countries we don't study a lot of grammar, if you find something that's really difficult in Italian, go see if it exists in your language, learn it in your language, and then you'll probably be able to grasp those Italian concepts a lot better. Another tip that I would give to learning Italian would be to inundate yourself with it. Immerse yourself in Italian. Particularly if you're not living in Italy, the best way to really get a grasp, at least on understanding the language, would be to listen to it and to read it. Read Italian newspapers, watch Italian movies, listen to Italian music, and that's how you will start to learn vocabulary. And I did a lot of that when I was home in America, and I saw that when I came to Italy I more or less understood everything. Even if you can't speak a language, you can understand it by practicing your reading and listening skills. Another tip I'd have for learning Italian would be to make Italian friends. You guys know that I'm a huge proponent of speaking with native speakers, and so I think that that is one thing that really helped me. There's nothing more frustrating than sitting in a room of people that are all speaking a different language, laughing, having fun, telling jokes, and you not being able to understand or contribute. It's really frustrating, but if you do it sometimes, after a few months, you start to understand what they're saying. And after another few months, you'll be able to interject a few times with your own thoughts. At least that's how it worked for me. I'd really encourage people to make friends with Italian speakers and to put themselves in the position where they have no choice other than to learn the language. That's really the best way to learn a language, is to not give yourself a choice. When I couldn't pronounce the word pizzaiolo, I just kept listening to the way that people were saying it, and I tried to make it make sense into my head. If you're stuck with a really long word, ask an Italian to say it to you slowly and break it up into the syllables, and watch, you'll be able to pronounce the word afterwards. So yeah, and my last tip on learning Italian would just be to not give up. I mean, there's a lot of resources that you can use. You can use software. There's Rosetta Stone, which is super duper expensive, but I heard works really well. So I would just say not to give up, keep on trying, and look for shortcuts. And I hope that you guys found them helpful. Be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Mwah.